We're on to learning unit number 10, which is on analyzing data. And personally, I do believe that this might be the toughest content to best understand. So what I would say to you is do your best in reading chapter 13. Take some pauses and reread sections to try to make sense. Because we're going to be talking about a lot of statistical tests and analyses. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult, perhaps, to do that on your own, but you're not alone. So I'm here for you if you have questions. And you're going to be also provided with some videos to help you understand some of the more difficult tests. So let's get on. That said, so the purpose of data analysis is to answer our research questions and to test hypotheses. The research design and type of data collected is going to determine what statistical procedures that we use. And once we have collected this data, our specific statistical procedures describe, analyze, and interpret this data. Now, this is for quantitative studies. So we're going to look at some commonly used statistics for this learning unit. So by the end of this learning unit, please have read chapter 13, and then you're going to complete some of your activities here. So the first one is a video talking about standard deviation. I did my very best to look through many of the videos that are out there and to try to find ones that would be the best for you. So standard deviation is very important. I'm sure you can pick up about the mean, median, and mode, those kind of things in your book, but standard deviation and the p-value, statistical significance, I felt as though were two very important points that I wanted to have additional resources for you to best understand. The quiz is going to not be timed, so it will not be timed, and you're going to have 2 attempts to finish it. So I ask that you take your time when taking the quiz. Go back and look at your textbook in chapter 13, but reread, learn as you're taking your quiz. That's my goal, is for you to learn and better understand and demonstrate that you've learned some of the concepts while you're taking the quiz. For the discussion board, I want you to, as you've gone through the readings, there's going to be issues about parametric and non-parametric procedures and statistical tests that fall within one or the other. And you're going to be like, what? A bit confused. So what I'd like you to do is to share a link for a video that you found that can help you and your classmate to understand one of the procedures that you've either noted in your annotated bib. So if you've already reviewed an article for this poster presentation that perhaps talks about ANOVA or t-tests or one of these, I would say then that's going to be the parametric or non-parametric test that you want to look further into. But that's just a recommendation. So for your discussion board, all you have to do is post a link so that your classmate can click on and view the YouTube video or wherever you find your video and but help them understand what your one of these tests as well. Just the link. I know that you're going to take some time in looking for this video so that you aren't giving your classmate a video that is really not helpful. So then after you've posted that by Thursday night, if at all possible, please, then by Sunday evening, reply to your classmate and say, what did you learn from that video? Not the one that you posted, but the one that your classmate has posted. So that's the discussion board. Sometimes it's not as easy to find good information, so it can be a little time consuming. So weigh that. I don't want you spending a little time looking for, the perfect video. If you do come across the perfect video, bless you. I'm glad, and perhaps I can share it for future students. But typically, a really good video, or a pretty good video. You're going to be doing your fourth annotated bib. Remember, they're all going on one document. And then that's it for this learning unit. However, I do want to take you through right now preparation, because this is learning unit number 10. In learning unit number 11, you're going to be doing an evidence-based practice assignment. We'll go more into that. But by the end of learning unit number 12, you're going to have uploaded your research poster draft. So you want to make sure that you're, number one, clicking on here, reviewing the research poster examples, and there's oodles of them. So look through that, and then I want you to look through the poster heading guidelines. You're going to notice that on some of the students' research posters, they have different headings. What I'd like you to try to do is try to follow these guidelines. If they don't work for you, then you can develop a different heading. But I want you to at least give these poster heading guidelines, and I'll open them in a minute, a chance. So by the end of learning unit number 12, you're going to upload in the template a research poster draft. We'll go over that more next week. And then you're going to want to, by the end of, then I am going to give you feedback. So once you upload it in learning unit 12, I'm going to review your poster, give you some feedback, and then at the end of learning unit number 13, you're going to upload a voiceover PowerPoint or a screencast-o-matic. It's going to be you presenting your poster. So, and then your classmate will have a chance to view your presentation in learning unit number 14. So there's lots of examples, and let's just last look at the poster heading guidelines. So in the guidelines, you're going to see, let me see if I can make it a little bit earlier. You're going to want to format your poster as follows, as closely as possible. If it doesn't fit, don't agonize. You be creative to some degree, but this is what I think will probably work well for you. Make sure in your poster you use pictures and graphs to make statements. So say my title was Evidence-Based Practice, Teaching Otitis Media. I'm going to have my name, you're going to have BSN on there, and then you're going to have BSN program, Zurn College of Natural and Health Sciences, Mercyhurst University. That's going to be your title. Your introduction is one of your headings, and you're going to include in the introduction, why did you choose this topic? How is it? What's the importance of this, of studying this to nursing? And how will your findings impact upon nursing practice? Or other information to introduce your subject matter. It can be written like an abstract. You can use some bullets, however you'd like to do it. Remember, in a poster presentation, we really have to lessen the amount of written material. Only that is really necessary to share the importance of your topic. Why is this important? That kind of stuff. So other key term, another heading, if appropriate, would be your key terms. Sometimes our key terms we really have to define, right? If we're talking about hope, we have to operationally define how we defined hope in this study. For evidence-based practice, sometimes you're operationally defining how the previous studies have defined a key term. Research question. So, for instance, in adults over 65 years of age with persistent atrial fib, do pharmacological rhythm control agents offer a lower risk of stroke when compared to pharmacological rate control agents? And I use this question, this research question, because this is I did an evidence-based practice. I had a published article in Nurse Practitioner Journal a while ago, but that was my research question. So, and this is where you're going to include your PICO question and variables. What are your independent and dependent variables? The literature, provide a summary of the evidence. Typically, it's best if you bullet your overall bullet list of your findings, not full sentences. Again, a poster presentation is not to give every little bit of what you have found, but the key points and why it's important for nursing and what the recommendations are going to be. So, and that's the final heading. Based on all of this information, is there a dearth of research out there? Does that mean that means there's not much out there? Is, what do you recommend next? So conclusions and recommendations. And then you are going to have your references alphabetically per APA format. So I wanted to go over this with you just so that you saw what I recommend as headings, especially for an evidence-based practice poster presentation. Remember, you're consumers of research, you're evidence-based practitioners. However, right now as a BSN prepared nurse, you're not being prepared to do research. So in essence, we call it a research poster, but it's really an evidence-based practice poster. And you are consumers of, you understand, you can critically appraise the research studies that others are doing. And I hope at some point that you do go on and become nurse researchers. It's a tough thing to do. So evidence-based practice is fantastic that you've gathered these skills. So share these skills as you apply what you have learned throughout the semester in a poster presentation. One last thing about your posters, I'm going to ask you to think about and reflect on how can you use these posters? How can you disseminate your findings? So one way is there a group of nurses, colleagues that you're working with that you can share this with? So be thinking about that too. And as you think of who your audience is going to be, that's also going to help you as far as preparing your poster. So have a great week and never hesitate to call me, okay? I know that Ann and Cassie, you're out there and you've emailed me and you've called me on occasion. So if we need time to talk more about this, we can do that. Have a great week.